second, please. Okay, so binomial distribution, we said usually in the exercises it will not be mentioned that we are dealing with binomial distribution. So it is your responsibility as a student to recognize that. And to know that it is binomial distribution, keep in mind that we are talking about two outcomes. Even I would say when we say that we have two outcomes, it's not a restriction, because whatever we're interested in, we call it success outcome. And everything we don't interested in, that is called the failure outcome. So not necessarily that I have exactly two outcomes. I told you before, if we have different colors and my color that I have a question about it, how many with the red color, for example, I draw ball, that red color called success. All the other colors I can call them failure. إذا هذا ما يعتبر كشرط إنه إذا ما لقيته بالضبط ناتجين بمعنى لازم يكون عندي فقط لونين، ما بعتبره باينوميال. لا، مش صحيح. أي شيء بإمكاني أقسمه لجزئين، شيء مهم وشيء مش مهم، وبالتالي المهم بسميه سكسس واللي مش مهم عندي بسميه فيلير. إذا ده ما بنعتبره كريستركشن، يعني مو شيء يقيدني على أساس أقول التمرين ما له علاقة باينوميال. إحنا صحيح بنقول ثنائي، but we can think about the exercise in all cases as two outcomes. But what do we need really? Just give me a second. To be given in my exercise to say that I have binomial distribution, you need n to be given. هذا أساسي. I need number of trials. So the number of trials n should be given. What is else? I need from my exercise to give me P. And what is P? We call it probability of success. إذا معلومتين التمرين إذا ما أعطاك إياهم ما فيك تواصل بالباينوميال. لازم عدد المحاولات n عندك إياها. Probability of success, which is P, should be given. With the two things, with two parameters, we call them parameters, they're given from the exercise. The two numbers, we call them parameter. N is number of trials, which is a whole number. Probability of success either given in percentage or a decimal point. With these two, I can proceed thinking about X. And what is X? Is just the number of successes. يعني how many times we obtained the successes. If, for example, returning to the coin, and I have H is called success, then how many times I obtained the H or the successes. كم مرة بيطلع عندي ال H من المحاولات كلها، هذا بسميه ال X. If I know the exercise is binomial, then you are able to use these formulas. How to calculate each probability? I would say it is NCX multiplied with P to the power X multiplied with 1 minus P to the power N minus X. What are the values for X from 0 to N? How to calculate the probability? By the formula we just mentioned. هاي الفورمولا تحسب لك the probability. So this is B small letter for the word binomial. For the value of X, which means what's the probability to get the value of X? If in my exercise given N and B, then after semicolon, these are the given in the exercise. يعني اللي بعد الفاصلة المنقوطة هي معناتها الأرقام اللي أعطاك إياها التمرين. يعني ال N will be given from your exercise. And for each value of X, you can calculate the probability by using this formula. This is called the probability distribution function. If you would like to change it to cumulative, I told you don't look at this formula, just think about it. Well, I will go back to the binomial probability and I will add them. So if I said, what's the probability to get X less than or equal to 7? And because capital B is cumulative, it means I will collect the probability at 7, probability at 6, probability at 5, blah, 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 till probability at 0. I will add them all, and that is capital B. Now remember the rule we have it, we can move from B, so from a probability distribution function to capital letter B, which is the cumulative, using the addition. So that's the rule we know it. يعني لو أنا عندي the probability كل رقم I have a probability for each number, for 0 alone, for 1, for 2, for 3, blah, blah, blah. And if I want to change that to cumulative, what shall I do? Because of the word cumulative, it means that I will add the probabilities from the beginning till the number I want. Now, what if I switch it? What if I said, okay, can you move from capital B, which is the cumulative, to the probability B for a specific number? Definitely it's possible, and it's by opposite operation. Then it's by subtraction. That is what I'm stating at the end here. So let me just give you an example to explain it. Let's assume I want you to tell me what's a probability, and when I'm saying a probability at X, you will see that it's a small letter b. Small letter b means a probability at only that number. For example, I want probability at 5, and of course you have n and b. يعني شو احتمال إن يكون عندي اللي يطلع 5 number 5. To get this, I can take it from capital B at 5, the same number, of course, with the same n and b, but I need to subtract it from capital B for the number before it, which is 4 in this case, with the same n and b. Why is that? If you think about it, what does it mean capital B5? هذا شو معناته capital B5? It means probability of 5 plus probability of 4 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 0. يعني sum from 0 to 1, 0 to 5. Now what's capital B at 4? It is the sum of probabilities from the number 0 till 4. Now if you subtract them, everything will be cancelled except a probability of 5, and that is what I got. Then if you want to move from small letter b to capital letter B, you will add probabilities from the beginning till you reach the number of interest لغاية الرقم اللي احنا نريده. What if I give you a table of capital B and I want you to change it to small letter b? Simply it is the subtraction between any two successive numbers. يعني capital B at 5 minus capital B at 4, the number before it, it will give you probability at 5. Capital B at 7 minus capital B at 6, it will give you probability at 7. Capital B at 9 minus capital B at 8, it will give you small letter b, which is the probability at the number 9. So simply it is the same rule, but we change the direction, and that's why we change the operation. فبالتالي ما بنعتبرها قاعدتين. أنا بتحرك من small letter b لكابيتال بالجمع، العكس معناتها راح أرجع بعملية الطرح. With the last rule we will have it before starting our exercises. What is the mean and the variance? But be careful again, just to keep in mind that this page completely, شايفين هاي الصفحة حين أنا مصغرتها؟ This page for all the rules shaded part, هاي المضللين كامل الrules, you cannot use them unless you have binomial distribution. إذا ما عندي binomial distribution ما فيك تستخدمهم. So these rules خاصة بشو؟ بالbinomial distribution، مش في أي قانون بأي تمرين يعطيني أروح أستخدمه. Let's now see the mean. The mean simply take and multiply b. Very simple formula. What's the variance? Take and multiply with b, multiply with 1 minus b. But once again, these two for only binomial distribution. With that, I'm ready now to solve with you the first question. Let's say x is the number of heads obtained from tossing a balanced coin 3 times. 3 times, that's the total number of trials, so that's n. I said 3 times, يعني كم مرة راح تعيد المحاولات هاي 3 مرات, so that is n equal 3. I told you to call it binomial, there should be p. Where is p? I can't see it. p بتكون عندي because of the balanced coin, which means that 50% head, 50% for the tail. So what is p? Is 0.5. Why do we call it binomial? Well, I told you one major example, one of the common examples for the binomial is the coin. معروف إن الباينوميال إذا بيتكلم عن الكوين شيء طبيعي هذا راح يكون binomial. You have two outcomes, head or tail. Number of trials عندك إياها, they are independent, which we have it here in our exercise is 3. So in 3, p.5, if I told you what is the value for x, then 0, 1, 2, 3. My question, find the probability distribution function. So I want you to give me the probability to get 0, to get 1, to get 2, to get a 3. Because it is binomial distribution, I will go back to use this. What is the probability distribution function? I will use this formula. And what is that formula? It is n combination x. And what is n? That's a 3, and that's why I put it 3. هي المفروض تكون n combination x. It is p if you like. Let's write the rule in front of you. N combination x, and then I will take p, I will raise it to power x, and then I will take 1 minus p, I will raise it to power, I will raise it to the power n minus x, n minus x. So that is the formula. I have it for binomial. هذا المفروض القانون اللي عندي. Let's substitute. N is a 3, so that's it. Cx اللي هي same as this notation. This is called combination. So n Cx 3Cx. What is p? 0.5 to the power x. What is 1 minus p? Well, again 0.5. Here 0.5 for 1 minus 0.5 add 0.5 to the power n minus x, which is 3 minus x. Now, because these two same 0.5 to the power x, 0.5 again to the power 3 minus, you can merge them together. So you can say the same 0.5 and I will add the powers. مش نفس الأساس بنجمع الأسس. So x with minus x will be dropped and you end up with this formula. This formula will give you the probability for each number. So you can substitute for x and get the answer. 3 combination x, 0.5 to the power 3. Let's replace x here with 0. So it is a 3 combination 0, 0.5 to the power 3. Find the answer. Next, 3 combination 1, 0.5 to the power 3. Find the answer. 3 combination 2, 0.5 to the power 3. Finally, 3 combination 3, 0.5 to the power 3, and you will get the answer for all of them. So that is simply how to apply the formula. اعتبرين هاي مباشر لأنه أنا عارفة مباشرة إنه بما أن استخدم coin يعتبر binomial. هو فقط لتعرف إنك تستخدم الفورمولا هاي وتعوض عنها. Let's have another one and more important than the previous one. What if I'm talking about urn, which means it's like a jar, it's a box. We have an urn contains capital in marbles اللي هي كرات اللي هي مال اللعب اللي بيكون عندي مجموعة من الكرات بداخلها. I'm telling you 50% green, 20% blue, 30% red. Now with this sentence you may say, well, I have a 3 colors, then it's not binomial. I told you, be careful that even if you have more than 2 outcomes, you can think about them, success, failure. The important one for us, what is the question about? The question is about red color, then red is important. The red is called success. The others, we call them failure. فمش إشكال إني يعطيني كذا لون. أنا لازلت أفكر فيها بأن success failure. فهي ما بتمثل مشكلة بالنسبة لي. Now 50% green, 20 blue, 30 will red. Let's proceed and see. Suppose that the 3 marbles are to be drawn with replacement. This is very important. If you don't have it with replacement, it is not binomial. I'm saying it's very important because I will repeat this exercise later on within chapter 4 and I will solve it as it is not binomial. Why now I'm saying it is binomial? Because it's a draw with replacement. ذكروا كلامي هذا مضبوط. إذا تسحب وترجع هذا binomial. إذا تسحب وما ترجع, this is called something else. We will learn it later on. It's called hypergeometric. فخلي بالكم في عندنا نوعين. When you take something and retain it back, it means that you will not change the probabilities. يعني if I said you have 30% red, when you draw one red, of course that percentage will be changed, but when I ask you to retain it back, that percentage will be fixed. فبحافظ على نفس النسبة. If you see this statement, think about it binomial. How many times you will draw 3? So that's your n. I will take 3 things, 3 marbles, so that is my n. كم مرة بتسحب أنت؟ 3. إذا هاي قيمة ال n. Now let's see which of these percentage will be my P لأنه عندي ثلاثة هل هي 50 ولا 20 ولا 30 أي واحدة منهم P. Be careful that you will specify that from the question. خلنا نقراها. Let the random variable X be the number of a blue marble. Because I defined X related with the blue, then I will take the percentage of the blue to be my P. This is my P. Because we defined the variable as the number of a blue marble, which means that the blue color is the important color for me, and that is my success. صح ثلاثة ألوان، بس اللون اللي أنا حطيته عندي بالتعريف تبع الإكس كان البلو، إذا البلو تعتبر success والباقي نعتبرهم failure. So what is N? How many times you will draw 3? What is P? Related with the blue color, 0.2, which is 20%. In this case, of course, according to N, you know what are the values of X. 0, 1, 2, up to N, which is a 3. Again, I'm asking you to find the probability distribution function, which means substitute. Once again, don't forget, this is the formula that we will use it for the binomial. And let's write it again here. What is my binomial formula? So this is what we have. This is the binomial, and this is the formula. Let's substitute. What is N? 3. Selection of X. So 3 combination X. What is P? 0.2 to the power X. What is 1 minus P? Don't write it 1 minus P, directly write it 0.8 لأنه العملية بسيطة هي 0.2 تكملتها شو 0.8. So just write it 0.8 to the power 3 minus X. Now use this formula to substitute into X every time with one number to find the probability. If X0, what is the probability? See this notation, small letter b, it means what is the probability to get 0? What's probability to get 1? What's probability to get 2? What's probability to get 3? So this notation here, it means the probability. Simply, I will use this formula. I would say 3, combination 0, 0.2 to the power 0, 0.8 to the power 3 minus x, بمعنى 3 minus 0, the difference between these two, which is a 3. يعني أول مرة نرفعها للزيرو. ثاني مرة نطرح الرقمين من بعض فبيكون عندي الرقم 3. Now hold the expression here, you can enter it in your calculator once. هي ما يحتاج تحلوها إلي جزء جزء، هي كلها بالآلة أنا أطلعها بخطوة واحدة. أكتب 3 C0 multiply 0.2 hat 0 multiply 0.8 hat 3 equal I will get the answer. فقط خطوة واحدة تطلع لي جوابي، العملية مش طويلة. Let's proceed. Now we will change x with 1. فايش تصير عندي 3 combination 1. 0.2 to the power 1. 0.8 difference بين رقمين. See the first two numbers, find the difference between them. 3 and 2, 3 and 1, the difference is 2. Again, the whole in one step in my calculator, this is the answer. Let's proceed. 3 combination 2. 0.2 to the power 2. 0.8 to the power now, difference 1. Again, enter this one completely in the calculator, give me the answer. Finally, 3 combination 3. 0.2 to the power 3. 0.8 to the power, the difference, which is 0. Find it in one step, and that is what you got at the end. So this is the two exercises. The main idea behind them is just to use the formula, to be familiar with using it, يعني مباشرة. And the importance of this exercise, as I said, it will tell me if I draw with replacement, I have to keep in mind that this is example of binomial. Let's have another one now. Question number 10. During one stage in the manufacture of integrated circuit chip, a coating must be applied. Now this is just information, يعني statement الأولى, because I can't see any number in it, so I will not pay attention to it. Let's continue. If 70% of chip receive a thick enough coating, you see this percentage, see what is written after that. This statement should be the success, because the percentage should be given for the success, a probability of success. So what is written beside the percentage? I said 70% of chips receive thick enough coating. يعني عندي مصنع بيصنع الشيب، وإذا كان تغليف هذا الشيب جيد أنا بقول 70% من إنتاجهم تغليفه بيكون جيد. ف 70% of their chips receive thick enough coating. معناته if you think about it, what are the two outcomes? Either the chip will receive thick enough coating or the chip will not receive thick enough coating. عكس بعض. That's why we call them success and failure. لأنه عكس بعض. يا أما بيكون تغليفه جيد يا أما بتكون تغليفه غير جيد. 70% of them they receive thick enough coating. And then I said find the probabilities of the A, B, C and so on. طلع لي الاحتمالات هاي that among 7 chip. When I'm saying the word among, that's the total. So what I'm doing, selection of 7 chip and then I will check them one by one. يعني أخذت أنا 7 من الشيب وبختار بتأكد منهم واحدة واحدة. فشو احتمال إن يطلع لي among 7 exactly 6 will have thick enough coating and then at most 3 and then 2 or more and so on. So before going through the question solution A, B, C and so on, let's see what is written in my exercise. I have 2 numbers. 70, which is P, 7, which is N. Among, that is the total, then this is N. The whole number for N. The percentage for P. إذا عندي الرقمين، عندي قيمة ال N اللي هو التوتال العدد الكلي 7. وعندي قيمة ال P اللي هو 70% which is my P. With that, I'm ready to find now what is the probability. Let's start with A. I want you to find the probability that we got 6, exactly 6, will have thick enough coating. Before answering the question, make sure that the statement use the same phrase you have with the percentage. يعني شو العبارة اللي مكتوبة مع percentage? Receive thick enough coating. If you have the same, have thick enough coating, it means you have to use the same percentage. Why this is important? What if I change this one and I said will not have thick enough coating, يعني نفيتها thick enough coating. If I said this one, exactly 6 will not have, then how many they have enough coating or thick enough coating? Because among 7 we have 6, then only 1 will receive thick enough coating, which means that your value that you are looking for is not 6, is 1, because you have to match the statement in your question with the statement with the percentage. This is important and this is one of the common mistakes. مرة ثانية العبارة اللي توجد مع percentage لازم هي نفس العبارة الموجودة بالسؤال. I would say it for the last time. You have to check that the statement given beside the percentage is the same statement given in your exercise. Otherwise, you have to modify the question. So what is here given? That I want the probability to get 6 will have thick enough coating. Because this statement, same as the one, I have it with percentage, then I don't need to do anything, just substitute. Let's see it. I want probability that x equals 6. Because this is example for binomial distribution, where I have n 7, I have p 70, and exactly 6, which means that is the value of x. So what's the probability x equal to 6? It is the binomial distribution, binomial probability formula, where x equals 6, semicolon, what is n is 7, and what's the probability 0.7. Remember the formula, you should remember it. This is the one I have it for the binomial. هذا القانون اللي احنا دائما نعتمد عليه. It is n which is 7. Combination x or selection of x, so 7 selection of 6. p which is 0.7 raised to the power x. p ترفعها إلى power x. 1 minus p معناتها الكومبلمنت، يعني اللي تحت عندك 0.7 تكملتها شو راح تكون عندي 0.3، فهي الاثنين يكملوا بعض. 0.7 جنبها 0.3. The first one raised to the power x and the second one raised to the difference between them, which is 1. Now with the calculator find the probability. Let's see the next. What's the probability that at most 3, again, before answering the question, make sure that this statement same as the statement beside the percentage. الخطوة هاي كم مرة حين أنا كررتها ما أبغي خطأ بيها. لازم العبارة المكتوبة مع النسبة المئوية تكون نفس العبارة بسؤالي، وإلا لازم أغير التمرين وأغير الأرقام. So have thick enough coating, same, receive thick enough coating, which means that the percentage 70% will not be changed. I will not need to do anything. Now just answer the question. What does it mean at most 3? يعني شنو يكون عندي at most 3؟ معناته either x0 or 1 or 2 or 3. يعني what's the probability that x could be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3? Which means that you have to substitute every time. Once for 0, once for 1, once for 2, and finally for 3. يعني كم مرة راح نعوض حسب الأرقام اللي أنا كاتبتها. مرة بنعوض بالإكس ب0 ومرة ب1 ومرة ب2 ومرة ب3 and then we will add them. So you see my statement here? I will go to the formula of the binomial distribution where x equals 0. I will go to the same formula where x equals 1. Same formula where x equals 2. Same formula where x equals to 3. But of course, every time we have 7.7, 7.7. What are these numbers? N and P. N and P. Why? Because from the question at the top, we have P70 which is 0.7. We have N7 which is I know it. يعني قيمة ال N وال P ما يتغيرون. مين اللي تغيرون كل مرة؟ تغير قيمة ال X. بس من بداية سؤالك أنت عارف قيمة ال N عارف قيمة ال P ما بتغيرها. Let's proceed and substitute. Every time I will use the same formula. But every time I will change the value of X. So the first one, 7C0. Next 7C1, بعدين 7C2, بعدين 7C3. Let's read them now one by one. 7 combination 0 or 7 selection 0. 0.7 which is P to the power 0. The complement of the probability 0.3 to the difference between these two numbers which is 7. That is my first part. Next. After plus, why plus? Because you are saying either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. What does it mean at most 3? 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. So the word or is translated into addition. إذا الخطوة اللي بعدها راح تكون 7 selection 1. P which is 0.7 raised to the power x which is 1. The complement of the probability raised to the difference between them which is 6. Find the answer. Go ahead, plus. Next, 7 selection 2. 0.7 raised to the power 2. 0.3 raised to the difference which is 5. Find the answer. Finally, for x equals 3 معناتها 7 selection 3. 0.7 to the power x which is 3. 0.3 to the difference between them which is 4, and then with the calculator, by the way, I can enter the whole statement. I'm just reading it one by one to follow with me. لكن أنا أقدر أطلع هذا كله بخطوة واحدة and I will find the answer at the end. Finally, the same question عندنا بعد مطلوب ثاني. What's the probability to get 2 or more? Again, read the statement. Will have thick enough coating. Will have thick enough coating. Same statement, receive a thick enough coating, which means N7 P.7 ما غيرناها. Now directly go and answer the question. What does it mean 2 or more? إيش معناتها؟ معناتها X 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Why I have to stop to 7? Why I shouldn't continue or 8 or 9 or 10 blah 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 and so on? You cannot. Because n is 7 يعني maximum should be 7. فكيف تواصل 8 و 9 وكذا؟ إذا كان ال n أكبرها بيكون عندي قيمة ال n 7 معناتها ال x ما بتزيد عن 7. فشو يعني 2 أو more؟ معناتها 2 أو 3 أو 4 أو 5 أو 6 أو 7. Now if you think about it, what does it mean how to solve this question? I would say use this formula for x2. Use it for x3, use it for x4, use it for x5, use it for x6, and use it for x7, and then add them all together. Yes, this is correct. but it's long. Can we shorter that؟ يعني فينا نختصر شوي هالتمرين، فينا إجابة نطلعها صحيحة وبطريقة أبسط. Yes, fortunately we can do this. If you think about what are the values of x, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would say all except 0 and 1. وهذا هو فعلا. What are the values of x? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. طيب أنا بدأت من 2 ل 7 فمعناتها I considered all except 0 and 1. Now this statement, fortunately, I can do it easier. All 1 except minus. So you need to substitute only twice. شايفين كم مرة راح يعوض؟ فقط مرتين. كثير أبسط من إنه أعوض عن 2 وال 3 وال 4 وال 5 وال 6 وال 7 كلهم. حولتها كتبت all 1 except minus. I need to substitute it twice. The only thing you have to be careful about it, minus substitution for 0 minus substitution for 1. يعني تطرح الثنتين. Which means that you need to do the substitution only twice. Once for x0 and once for x1, that's it. And then 1 minus the first minus the second, and that will be your answer at the end. فيعني أحيانا السؤال مو بالضروري يكون طويل، لو عدلنا بالتمرين أو حولناه بطريقة ثانية فيكم تحلونه بطريقة أبسط. Let me probably end with the next exercise because, yeah, we have another one. Okay, so this is again continuing with it. Probably this is the last, so perfect. Again, we have another one. At least 5. What does it mean at least 5? But before going through this, شو قلنا? We have to check the statement قبل ما تفكر بشو قيمة الإكس. Before thinking even what is your x. لأنه it will be waste of time. إذا بتحله وبتضيع وقتك وتالي بالستيتمنت ما بتكون نفس الستيتمنت اللي موجودة بالبرسنتيج كل اللي حليته ما له معنى. Is it the same statement I have thick enough coating? Yes. I'm happy now with that. I can solve my question. What does it mean? At least 5. شو يعني at least 5? It means 5 or 6 or 7. 5 or 6 or 7. Because here we have 3 substitutions only, it's not long, يعني I can do them. So what shall we do? First, we will replace x with 5. Second, we will replace x with 6. Third, we will replace x with 7 and then we will add them. So it is just using the formula 3 times. هذا مش طويل. يعني I would say 7 selection 5. P to the power 5. The complement of P to the difference between these two. And then plus 7 selection 6. 0.7 to the power 6. The complement of 0.7 تكملة الاحتمال 0.3 to the power difference between these two numbers. حاولوا دايما تتابعوها معي بهالصورة. بالأول ناخذ ال n ونختار منها قيمة ال x. نكتب ال p ونرفعها لقيمة ال x. نكتب مكملة ال p ونرفعها للفرق ما بين هاي الرقمين. Plus 7 selection x. p which is 0.7 to the power x. 0.3 to the power 0. Find the answer and that's it. Now I'm happy with that answer and indeed I'm done. يعني المفروض إنه أنا حليته. That's it. My solution is correct. Perfect. I'm just giving you alternative solution. يعني راح أعطيك طريقة ثانية للحل. This alternative solution you can answer it from tables. If you have the textbook, at the end of the textbook you will see some tables and one of them is a table. At the top you will see this notation. راح تشوفوا هذا. Before using any table, be careful to read where you can use this table. And of course, you will see statement at the top. يعني الجدول مش يستخدمه من غير ما أعرف أنا أصلاً لأي تمرين مستخدمه. What's written at the top? Capital B. So what are these? Cumulative. This table is not for the probability directly. It is for the cumulative. So I'm writing a note here. Use tables of cumulative distribution of binomial distribution. لشو؟ الcumulative. Why? Because it is written capital B. It's not small letter b. I will show you how to use the table because some of the students last semester they asked me also how to use this table and that's why I added this. يعني previously I'm just explaining it using the formula. But since some students interested in using the table, that's why I said alternative. يعني طريقة ثانية للحل. يعني اللي أنا حليته خلاص صحيح، لكن إذا حاب تستخدم الجداول follow me. Let's see how to use the table. Now be careful, the table cumulative. And what does it mean cumulative? You should start from beginning till you reach the number. يعني هذا, for example, let me read one of them. Let's see if n here, this column with n. Follow me how to read the table. خلينا نشوف مع بعض كيف نقرأ. هذا ال n. n is 7, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is 7? This is my 7. So I am in this part. هذا بالنسبة لي كله 7. كامل هذا تابع ال n 7. What is x that you are looking for? Let's say, for example, I want x4. So this is the first part here for n. And these numbers, 4x, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and of course you have 7 as well. But 7 is not written. Why? Because we know the cumulative, when you complete them all, it will be 1, and that's why it's not included. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for n equals 7. And then at the top here you have P. شايفين هذا تبع ال P. فلو كانت ال P 0.7 كيف تقرأ؟ معناته حددت ال P, حددت ال X, حددت ال N, and I will read it. So what is this one? This is the cumulative. يعني what's the probability that X less than or equal 4? It's not a probability at 4. مش تقرأوها احتمال إن يكون عندكم قيمة ال X4. لا. هي cumulative. يعني whatever you have in the table, it means a probability that x less than or equal that number. Now, how can I use this to answer my question here? Let's repeat again. What does it mean at least 5? What does it mean? 5, 6, 7. Okay, can you write this one differently? Instead of saying 5, 6, 7, you can say all except 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. معي؟ احنا محتاجين ال 5 وال 6 وال 7. 5, 6, 7. طيب, this you can write it as all minus except what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need them. ما عدا اللي بالبداية. احنا اخذنا اللي في النهاية. احنا نبغي ال 5 وال 6 وال 7 at the end. So it is the same as saying all except the beginning. So it is 1 minus the probability to get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when you start from the beginning till 4, this is nothing more than the cumulative. When I'm saying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that I will find the probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 4. What do we call this? Cumulative. So it is indeed 1 minus the cumulative, capital B. For the number 4, for N7, for P equal 0.7. Because we have table for cumulative, this one I don't need to do it by myself. يعني ما احتاج قانون وعوض لا. هي من التable. Let's read it again. What is N7? But be careful when you read it. The first one with semicolon, this is X. Next, this is N. 0.7, this is P. So what is P? 0.7. حددت عليها هي. What is N? This is N7. That's why I shaded this. What is X4? That's why I point to this. Now let's read it. 7. This is X. And the last one, so this is the answer, 0.3529. So it is 1 minus the answer from the table, 0.3529. The difference between them is 0.6471. If you compare this with the previous solution, same. The difference only with the digit. يعني هذا بالتقريب. فبالتالي yes, both of them will give you the same answer. So either to use the formula to calculate the probability 1 by 1, or to use the table, but keep in mind the table should be for the cumulative. يعني not necessarily that you can use it for any exercise. It should be for cumulative, which means that if you start from 0 till the number, here you can use the table. But if you didn't start from 0, then it's not the cumulative. يعني مش دائما بكل التمارين يصلح نستخدم فيها الcumulative. Let me end then. I guess this is the end of the part. Yes, the rest will be just homework, so you can go through them yourself. Even the solution is already provided to you, but it will be really nice to go through all these solutions yourself. Let me just end with the graph here. It's just for your information. Just to tell you something about the binomial distribution. I gave you here just example. هذا for your information لمعلوماتكم مش أكثر. is not exercise indeed. What if I have binomial with a probability 0.5, with a probability 0.2, with a probability 0.8? I just want to see the effect of the probability. أبغى أشوف تغير قيمة البي على احتمالات البروبابيلتي اللي عندي إياها تبع الباينوميال. So once again, I want to see the effect of having 0.5 as P or smaller than 0.5 or larger than 0.5. أنا أعطيت ثلاثة أمثلة 0.5 وأقل وأكبر. If you have 0.5, you will see the probability symmetry. إيش معناته؟ The probability to get the first will be the same as probability to get the last. Probability to get, for example, from 0 to 1, probability to get 0, same as probability to get 5. Probability to get 1, same as probability to get 4. And the one in the middle will be same as in the one in the middle. So we call it symmetric. الاحتمالات صايرة على الأطراف متساوية. That is if you have P equal 0.5. What if I have a probability smaller than 0.5 أقل من النص. الاحتمال البي أقل من النص. You can see if it is 0.2 for example, you will see the probability higher for the small values. For a small probability, the probability will be higher for the small values. للزيرو وال1 وال2 and it will be larger and then it will be reduced. القيم الكبيرة صايرة بالاحتمال لقيم الإكس الصغيرة. If P is large, you will see that the larger probability will be for the large values. بيكون عندي لل3 وال4 وال5 we have large probabilities if we have P is large. Once again, this is just for your information to get an idea what is the effect of having P. With that, I came to the end of the binomial distribution. You can go through exercise 3. Let me just go through it quickly with you. This is very simple. This is again direct. Similarly, كل اللي عندكم إياه مجرد more exercises. 5 نفس الشيء. That's again same. What do we have? This exercise 7 is about the mean and the variance. I use the formula. What is the mean and what's the variance? So this is about calculation of mean and variance. And this one is again about probabilities. So it's just more exercises about the probability. Try them and check if you are happy with the solution provided. With that, we came to the end of today's lecture and the end of our part as well, which is great. So next lecture, inshallah, we can start with the third part. I'm done. If you have any question, please go ahead. Yeah.